Is there a secret to viral YouTube clips? Our guest today has not only one, but 2 YouTube clips go viral. From this, he has marketed himself as an actor in a way that is completely outside the box. From this marketing, he has co-created a new TV show called 7 Days Later, and it has just won a digital Emmy. Stay tuned as this episode is full of fun. Happy Sunday, peeps. You're watching The Actor's Process. I am your host and acting junkie, Claire Elizabeth D. And today we're shooting in Sydney and we have an awesome guest. He is the king of viral YouTube clips, Nick Boshier. Hey Nick, how are you?
Very great, how are you going?
I'm good.
That's good. I don't know whether to embrace you at that moment. I had this urge to be hey.
We can kiss.
Yes.
Mwah.
Oh, Jesus, that was real.
I just got a kiss from Nick Boshier.
It's a lot of chemistry. I just got a kiss from Claire. It's palpable.
It is.
Yeah.
So Nick, your first success as an actor was a really hilarious YouTube clip that you created with your mates, and it's called Beach Daz. And it has had over 8 million YouTube views, which is just incredible. But before we chat about it, let's check out the clip.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I'm beached, bro! I'm beached ears! Hey, bro! Oh, hey, bro! What are you doing, bro? Dude, I'm beached ears! Oh, shit! You're beached ears! Tell me something I don't know. Bro, you're heaps beached, eh? So beached. Beached ears. Do you want a chip, bro?
So Nick, it's such a funny clip.
Thanks.
How did you think that Beach Daz was going to be received?
Well, I personally didn't think it was going to be received at all. So that's how I pondered it. And to be honest, there was no, people think, Nick, I really like how you used a Kiwi accent in there. I think it really played with, the difference between Australians and Kiwis. In reality, me and my flatmate, who was a seagull, who I'm still flatmates with, by the way. It's pretty sad. Yeah, it's a long-term relationship.
Commitment.
Yeah.
That's a real commitment.
It's a big deal. It's a big
pelican
deal.
and whale.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's right. But hilarity ensues between what a pelican and whale would get up to. But so we had gone through, previous to making that cartoon, a week of doing nothing but talking to each other in a Kiwi accent. So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd be like, oh, good morning, Anthony! And you'd hear this from someone in the house, oh, good morning, Nook! And I'd walk down and be like, do you want some breakfast? And he'd be like, yeah, the breakfast would be good, thanks. And we seriously talked like that for a week. So when I came up with the idea, it just naturally slipped into a Kiwi accent.
So how did you feel when you had your first million hits on YouTube?
Oh, it was batshit. It was crazy. It was at the time when it got to 10,000, I thought,
no,
this is the craziest shit that has ever happened to me in my life. I'm famous. But then...
a million
came, and that was kind of crazy. And the best news for me personally was when Peter Jackson had seen it. I'd heard through the wire that he'd seen it, and that was a massive deal for me personally at the time. The Flight of the Conchords also posted it, so that was huge. So it was kind of just evolved into this really fun game, of who could see it, and it was just fun. And then we played with the merchandise idea and expanded it from there, and it was just fun.
And you've also starred on another YouTube clip, and it's called Trent from Punchy, but that one didn't do so well. Nick had only got 7 million YouTube clips. I mean, you must be pretty disappointed with that one.
I'm really upset with that one. Yeah, look, I tried so hard. We put a lot of thought into that, and just the fact that we didn't get the payoff that we deserved was shocking.
So what's the secret of being the king of viral YouTube clips?
I think, well, to be honest, the common denominator other than myself was my flatmate again. So this same flatmate.
Well, you do have a very intimate relationship.
Well, and we do. It was
Yeah.
a long-term relationship at that
Yeah.
point. So he was cutting my hair, and he cut the front part of my hair, and he said, he was like, no, I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to finish cutting hair. I was like, what do you mean, man? I was about to go to a meeting. I was managing musicians at the time, and so I had a meeting with labels or something or other. And I was like, man, you have to finish cutting my hair. Like, I've got to go. He's like, no, not until you do Trent. And I was like, all right, get the camera. I'll do Trent, finish my hair. That was pretty much the deal. So he got the camera.
And then 7 million views later.
Yep, that was it. So Anthony McFarlane, my flatmate, is the common denominator for the successes behind those two things.
So I've got to get on to Anthony
You
if I
should-
want the actors process to go viral.
Yeah, you really need Anthony here, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll just get you to move on.
See ya.
So Nick, I'm sure that a lot of our viewers are keen to create their own work, and I know that you have cleverly used crowdfunding for a lot of your projects. Can you discuss your journey with crowdfunding and any tips?
Right. Well, I mean, so the 7 Days Later show that we developed, again, it was an idea developed by a guy called Daley Pearson, which I parasitically jumped onto. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And so we then developed it once he'd actually come up with the idea. But it was actually not crowd-funded, but crowd-sourced, which is just a slightly different thing, and it is what it kind of means. Like,
With Bondi Hipsters, was that crowdfunded though?
no, Bondi Hipsters was also, originally it was submitted as a trailer. So the Bondi Hipsters concept, we had to submit a trailer for this thing called Webfest. And essentially we went into a competition to see if we can get 100 grand to make it into a series. And thank Christ we didn't win that, because had we won that, they would have owned all the copyright and all that kind of jazz. But 7 Days Later is a crowd-sourced TV show in that we come up with a seedling of an idea, throw it out to an audience via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and then we essentially develop the idea of each episode together. And it was crazy, but it was fun. Very
So
possible.
you're giving the control to the audience for each episode.
More or less. Again, we had to govern a few things based on restrictions of budget and all that kind of hoo-ha. So that was within reason a collaboration, but absolutely, we'd have a weekly Google Hangout where there'd be like 20 people to 200 people that we'd be jamming with online to come up with whatever the idea is. And then again, dialogue suggestions via Twitter, like character names, character lines, catchphrases, all that kind of stuff came from that online interaction.
So clever.
Well, yeah, I wish I could take full credit for it, but but it was so much like crazy fun.
And you guys have been nominated for a digital Emmy. Sorry, what is a digital Emmy?
Well, most people wouldn't understand what an Emmy award is. A digital Emmy is like, it's an Emmy award,
Yeah.
but it's probably like a eczema-ridden cousin of the actual Emmy Awards. You know that cousin that sits in the corner of the room like scratching and just a little awkward. So it's like, there's
There's your
old
digital
mate. There's
Emmy.
the digital Emmy. Yeah, hey man, that kind of thing. But it's a lovely accolade to be nominated for. In all seriousness, like I won't take the Mickey out of it. It's a wonderful thing to be nominated for, and we were hugely chuffed because a lot of effort went into building essentially the multi-platform strategy to work out how we could make a show with audience members. So it's cool.
So Nick, what do you think's the biggest obstacle that people making their own work face?
Starting it.
Yeah, taking action.
Just starting it, because often people are like, man, Nick, what is your secret? Like, what have you done? Like, blah, blah. Just started stuff, been willing to suck, and finished stuff. It's as simple as that, because like, you don't have to be or one doesn't have to be kissed on the dick by the art gods in order to make stuff, you know?
Yeah.
At all.
I know.
You just do it and you bumble, and then as you bumble, you get a little bit better, and then you meet wonderful people who want to see you succeed, and you bumble together and you would kind of work it out, you know? Like, I think that is the reality of it, as opposed to what should be done, because what should be done is a really subjective thing.
So it's all about the collaboration.
Right, just if you have a project in your mind, and people have wonderful ideas, everybody does. You do, I know that guy does, your clapper guy does, he's got heaps of sick ideas, I just know. But everybody's got sick ideas, and the only thing is finessing what the execution of that is. And that happens over time and repetition and asking a shit ton of questions and sucking for a bit.
So apart from crowdfunding or crowdsourcing, what are other ways that people wanting to make their own work and put it online can actually monetize their project?
Okay, so how do they monetize the stuff? Look, I wouldn't propose to have the exact strategy on how to monetize stuff, because again, the stuff that we've made flukily did well. And then we exploited those things appropriately, like with the Beach Daz thing, we turned into merchandise.
Supray bought it.
Yeah, well, they bought a design which was like crazy. Like when one of my partners, again, it was probably Anthony McFarlane or Jared Green, the other
I
collaborators.
really need to get this Anthony
on
the couch.
Oh, he's a tall drink of water too. Yeah. But when he came to me and said, look, Supre want to do a kind of a design and they want to release a shirt, I was like, that is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. But democracy ruled, 2 against 1, and we did it. And as soon as we did it, it was a huge success. So I kind of ate my pants after that one. But that was great. So again, that monetizing the Beach Daz thing was a fluke. But again, when we had a bit of traction, we again appropriately exploited it. You know, we made merchandise, did the deal with Supre, got an online store called Cafe Press, which we linked directly to the video. So as it was a really hot video for a little while, the merchandise link popped up immediately at the end, where people could go straight to a online store and just buy a cup, buy a shirt, or whatever the dickens they wanted. They could even buy a Beach Daz G-string.
Well, we all need a G-string with a whale on it.
All of us do.
Yeah.
And that's my point, is that most actors don't understand that they need whales on their G-strings.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice you've given us,
They don't get
Nick.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the quote of the day.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, Nick, on social media, everyone loves quotes.
Don't they?
What's your favourite quote?
My favourite quote could be seen as being fairly bleak, but and forgive me if I mash up a word or two. But it is no manner of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society.
In English?
What that means is, as a kid, I always felt like a bit of a freak. How I thought it didn't feel normal. How I thought, and it's not
all
so
these
that,
creative.
Not even. It's just that I felt like a bit of a dork. I was like, fuck. It just felt like as many of us do, feel like a little bit, like what
just
the
like we
hell
don't
is
fit
going
in.
on? A little bit like
Yeah.
that, right? So it's not me trying to compliment myself in a backwards way. Well, as a kid, I was so inward and creative, and I could see things, and I had everything worked out. It's definitely not that, but it's a quote that says, like, trying to fit in completely well with this society isn't necessarily success. And to be an artist or to be an actor, you really do have to fight against these urges to, I don't know, be normal or do normal things, but it's just not quite congruous with the status quo. And
because actors have such a fantasy of what an acting career should look like.
Right.
And I mean, that's why I wanted to get you onto the show, because you're an actor, but your journey isn't what most actors think the journey should look like.
Correct, and that's another decent point as well. I had a lot of artistic urges as a young one, but it was too much of a brilliant pursuit to pursue because it was was acting, it was playing. It's like, fuck, as if I could ever do that and get
Yeah.
paid for it. So I had that kind of noise in my head growing up, but you know, in my moment of clarity, I was like, no, I'm going to start acting, and I made that decision at 28 or something like that. And it was like coming out of the closet to my parents and to my friends. I was like, hey guys, I'm going to act, and they're like, huh.
Did they think that you needed some therapy? Or?
A couple of them did. A couple of them gave me a chat. A couple of them had a talk, and it was
they sat
like,
you down.
man, are you sure you want to make this decision at this stage of your life? And nor would I ever criticize them for that. But again, just to go back to the quote, it's not a bad thing if you feel a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing if you feel like you are pushing poo up a hill as a creator. Not necessarily, you know, you gotta fight against it. And the other thing as well is, I'm certainly not a trained actor or anything like that. And if you have the urge and the need to tell stories or make people smile or whatever your purpose is, just
do it.
You just do that thing.
Yeah.
Do that a lot.
Yeah, awesome.
You're awesome.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Claire.
And today's viewer question comes from Callie Hodder in Brisbane.
Callie Hodder. Hi, Callie.
And she asks, Nick, I have a lot of creative ideas for various projects, but can't take action on all of them. What inspires you to take action?
That's a really good question, because that is one thing that I'm quite poor at, because I try and do everything at once all the time and have 27 things going. So I would...
You're supposed to have some sort of profound answer
so my
here,
profound,
Nick.
yeah. Okay, so my profound answer is start one.
And just one to start off with?
Whatever, like just make sure, start one and finish that. And that's as profound as I get. It's actually quite obnoxiously simple. Start something and finish it.
Yeah, it's the finishing off bit.
Exactly. Steve Jobs has got a quote again. I'm going to mash the quote up, but the concept is this. It's like, great artists ship. And that's his word of ship is like a Silicon Valley word for put it out there. It's like, great artists make stuff, put it out, move on. Make stuff, put it out and move on. And yeah, some people create their opus and spend decades doing it, and that's also a beautiful pursuit. But for me personally, as I learn, the more stuff I do and finish, the better for my learning of that thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. You're awesome.
I am.
Good. It's pretty arrogant.
So Nick, this is my favourite part of the show.
Yes.
What is your daily habit?
Well, I do quite a few things daily, Claire. One of those things would be I drink a lot of coffee, right?
Yeah.
That's oddly enough the least humorous thing I think I've ever said in my life, and I'm stoked that I got that response from you.
Yeah.
That's good.
So what habit do you think that actors should do, or people wanting to create their own work? What do you think a daily habit they can pursue?
Okay, so this is how I personally see it then. I do note taking really early in the morning. So I get up, between 5 and 6ish, and
I'm still asleep at that time, Nick.
I know, but I take my notes there, and it's quite a zen time. Everyone else is sleeping. You think you're cheating a little bit. It's like when you're up and you're having a coffee and you're taking notes, you're like, these other sleeping idiots not doing something with their lives. So I actually feel like I kill it a little bit in the morning and I take a lot of notes. And I view my creative pursuit as, just say I was setting up a business, right? And let's call that business a news agency. So just say I was setting up to become a news agent. Those bastards work 12, 14-hour days to run a successful news agency.
Yeah.
And likewise, a farmer's market or a farmer or just any stuff that we think is kind of relatively normal. Now, if we want to be a performer or an actor or whatever, it's like, yeah, fair play. Do 12, 14-hour days if that's what it takes. It's not to
not just when you're on set.
Right.
Yeah.
Develop
Yeah, develop your own work.
Correct. Or develop opportunities or collaborations. Collaborating is fine. Like, I'm not at this point in my life a good writer, but I can work well with writers, and thus I'm developing my skills as a writer. So if you notice gaps in your abilities, great, you're human, so just go and find some other brother with the skills that you don't have and make shit.
So what projects should we be looking out for?
Right, so we've got, there is quite a bit of interest in 7 Days Later as a second series. And then making another TV show, again, half-hour series with Christian Van Vuren and Connor Van Vuren, the co-creators of the Bondi Hipsters. And we're doing a TV show called The Soulmates, which is 4 stories.
Is that with you and Anthony, like the Soulmates?
No, me and Christian.
Oh,
yeah.
Anthony's going to get jealous.
He is fully going to get jealous.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't care. I'm ruthless.
Yeah, I'll just take Anthony. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You take him. You take him. So me and Christian and Connor are making this show called The Soulmates, and there are 4 stories, one of which is the Bondi Hipsters, and then 3 other stories that are going to be intertwined. And then working on a feature film with Daly Pearson, with whom I co-created 7 Days Later. There's talk about a Bondi Hipsters feature film, which could be...
Doesn't sound like you're really busy.
The thing is, other people are doing more than I am. I'm just like, yeah, I'll do that. I'm actually just in their coattails, more productive people's coattails. I talk a good one, but I don't do that much actual work.
I think on that note, we're going to just wrap up, Nick. Thank you so much for joining us on the Actors Process.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that you're going to come back.
I'd love to come
another
back.
time.
Yeah, let's hang.
And maybe
let's do
bring
this.
Anthony with you.
I'll bring Anthony with me. You know what I should do? I should bring my other collaborators along for them to actually agree with what I just said.
Yeah,
that I
and
don't
give
do a
us
great
some
deal.
profound answers.
Real advice.
Yeah.
Real answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I get another kiss?
Shit, yeah.
Awesome. Mwah. Thank you so much, Nick.
And the clapper, do I get a kiss from the clapper as well?
And cut.
So what do you find more challenging? Starting a project or finishing it? Read this week's blog and let us know there. And a huge thank you to our viewers out there, and a big shout out to Showreels Australia and our amazing crew. Check out our website, theactorsprocess.tv, and find out how you can have your work seen by becoming our Viewer of the Month. So much is possible with the Actors Process with your support. So please like us on Facebook, follow our tweets, and please share this episode with your friends. Remember, your big break could come from any project. So have a great week, and I'll see you next time on the Actors Process.